Hey everyone, Farrah Prudence here. I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of articles that I just read about a Dr. Khilanani from New York City. She's a psychiatrist who just gave a lecture at Yale, and she talked about how she fantasizes about emptying a revolver into white people. And then I believe she said something like skipping away relatively guiltless. Let it sink in for a minute. Not only am I outraged, I am terrified of what is to come to this country, of what is to become of the world if the United States goes down. There's no such thing as reverse racism. Racism is racism, and what she has is blatant racism. It is no different than the KKK. It is no different than the Black Power people. It is no different than the Islamists. It's none of that. Now, some people have said, oh, she's a Muslim. I personally, her name is not a Muslim name. Her parents are both also doctors in the area, and they're not, they don't have Muslim names either. So I don't know if she's a Muslim or not. And yes, it's true, Islam does say kill all the non-believers. It's not a sin for them, but we're going to put that aside because we don't actually know if she is a Muslim. We're going to talk about this on a basic human level. Leave religion and faith out of it, okay? This is a woman, a Pakistani woman, who is, people keep talking about white privilege. She is overprivileged. She's a first-generation immigrant who was born here in the States, who got a good education. Her family is obviously educated, but she got a good education here in the States. She's free to wear her makeup, wear whatever she wants in terms of clothes, go wherever she wants to go, associate with whoever she wants to associate with. She can have a career. She can have her own place. And this same woman who, if she, as she is, walked the streets of Pakistan right now, they would throw acid in her face, they would rape her, and they would attack her as a mob. I'm not exaggerating here. You can Google this. There are so many acid victims in Pakistan, so many women that are accused falsely of things, so many women that are honor killed, so many women that just get put in prison for these honor crimes. How has it come to be that someone who should be so grateful for what she has is walking around talking about shooting white people? As somebody who was born here in the States, I'm a first-generation immigrant and has lived in the Middle East. I am so thankful to the morality of the West. Of course, it was adopted out of Judeo-Christian values, but I am so thankful to the people who built this country, who a big majority were white, who gave me the opportunity to live here, so I don't have to wear hijab, so I don't have to have acid thrown in my face, so I can do whatever I want to, I can associate with whoever I want to, I can wear whatever I want to, I can talk however I want to talk. She is insufferable, despicable. She is the person who is giving the greatest amount of privilege in the world. And what has she done with it? Hate. Despicable hate. Stay with me here. Can you imagine, just wait for a minute. Can you imagine if a white woman or a white man gave a lecture at Yale, or even gave a video on Facebook talking about how he wants to empty a revolver into a bunch of black people and then hop away guiltless or feeling guiltless. Can you imagine the outrage? They would be calling for his head. This woman still apparently has her license to be a psychiatrist. How dare you, Dr. Khilanani, however you say your name. How dare you? All of the blessings you've been given and you've spit right in our faces. You ungrateful, immoral human being. Normally I'd say, try to be like Jesus. I try to be like Jesus. I fall short every single day, every minute of every day. But I can't tell you to be like Jesus. You are so far from any goodness. You're not even a basically good human being. Aiming for Jesus is just way out of your league. You want to kill my white kids? Why? Why? Everyone wants to pin all of the sins of America on her, all of the sins of white people on them, as if no other race, nobody else in the world ever conquered any other place, ever massacred, ever killed, ever raped, ever burned. You want to talk about the British Empire? Let's talk about the British Empire. Let's do it, boo-boo. The British Empire, they had this thing called the Code of Honor. When you go to compare the British Empire and what they did, which they have sinned gravely, to what the Islamic Empire did, the British Empire was a bunch of Boy Scouts. At the very least, when one of them sinned gravely, he lost his honor. Whereas in Islam, if you rape, kill, and murder, well, that's just basic Quranic commandments. Not the rape part, but they're okay with taking, you know, women slaves and having them as sex slaves. So, wait, yeah, that is rape, isn't it? So before you even think about starting to condemn white people for what they've done, look at what your people have done. Our people, what they have done. They have wiped out cultures. They have massacred people almost out of existence. So I'm going to take a minute and say, thank you, white people. Thank you for abolishing slavery, where slavery in Pakistan is still alive and well. Thank you for abolishing slavery when slavery in Saudi Arabia is still alive and well. There's an estimated over 10 million black slaves still in Islamic countries today. Thank you for giving us women's rights. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here, to be able to call the greats like Washington and Jefferson and Adams my forefathers. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say I am proud of Frederick Douglass, my fellow American, a good man. Dr. Ben Carson, a good man. Thank you. Because I wouldn't have that opportunity where my parents come from. My parents are Palestinians, and if it wasn't for America, I'd be living in the Middle East right now. Just like Dr. Khilanani would be. She would probably already be in an arranged marriage, already just raising a brood of kids, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it is wrong if that's what's forced upon you. She would never have the opportunity to wear makeup, go wherever she wants to go, drive wherever she wants to drive, have her own place, be a psychiatrist. Ungrateful. With all of her sins, I kiss the ground of America. She is still great. Even with Biden on top, she's still great. And you, Dr. Khilanani, can somebody tell me how to say her name? Whatever. You who shall not be mentioned. You are the reason that the KKK is more convinced now than ever that they're right. You are the reason that there are more racists that are being brewed every day. Because people who maybe have heard this and rejected it in the past are seeing what's going on. The abuse and racism and brutality and violence against white people. And now they're saying, oh, wait, maybe my uncle wasn't an ignorant person. Maybe he had a point. No, your uncle didn't have point. Hate doesn't take out hate. Love takes out hate. But I digress. My point is, not only should this woman be stripped of her license, she should be made an example out of. She should never be allowed to carry a weapon. She should never be allowed to practice medicine. She should never be allowed to speak outwardly. I don't understand how Ben Shapiro could be banned from campuses for being hateful. What? Are you kidding me? He's never said anything hateful. Yet this woman's going around reaffirming what she said. She's the one that pushed it to go out publicly. What is tolerated by one generation is accepted by the next. And if we don't stand up and squash this trendy, accepted racism, mark my words, what is coming is much worse. What is coming is much worse. I have been banned from platforms. I have had organizations say that I am hateful because I speak out against Islam, not Muslims, Islam. And yet, this woman who said she would want to kill white people, she's still allowed to practice psychiatry? What has happened to us? We cannot tolerate intolerance. All of the names that I've been called falsely, like a bigot, a racist, a xenophobe, she's all of those things. And I'm going to say it again. I am so grateful to be here. And Dr. Khilanani, you are the reason. People like you are the reason that others hate immigrants and don't want them in the country. You are the reason. You have nobody to blame but yourself. And by the way, I have a few $100s in savings. I think I have like $1,200. I am happy to buy you a one-way ticket to Pakistan, where you will not have to face the atrocious experience of seeing white people. And you can save the 5 or 6 rounds that actually go into a revolver. Because guess what? You don't even have the right to carry a weapon over there. And you don't have to suffer anymore. You could be around brown people all day. All day. Make good decisions today. This is just, it weighs so heavy on me. It weighs so heavy on me. But this is the price we pay for tolerance. Tolerating intolerance. I remember a time when non-white people would be happy to have their white friends come over and try their non-white food and try their saris on and try their jilbabs on and to participate in their culture. Now it's called cultural appropriation and it's racist. I remember a time when I was told, oh, little brown girls are bullied. Oh, they're bullied horribly and they just want to be accepted. It's not true. I'm sure it does happen, but it's not a broadly true statement all across the board. When did we move from acceptance to now we want to shoot white people? How do we make that jump? Dr. Khilanani, not only do you need to apologize publicly, which we know doesn't actually mean you changed your mind, But you actually need to go find enlightenment. You need to cure your own heart. You have no business being a psychiatrist. You're mentally ill yourself. You need to go get help from a different psychiatrist. Somebody who's actually legitimate. You have no business treating people. Have a good day.